Right, I am getting lots of requests for more information about the bundle because it ends tomorrow. So here's what I want you to know. The bundle is every pre-recorded program I have created all lumped in together for £149. Now, I know that if you don't know what my programs are, that doesn't help you. So let me give you more information. If you have ever worked with me in the past, you'll know that what we do is we tap, we find the places where we have mental blockages, where you have stuckness, where you have fear, where you have guilt, where you have whatever that is that's keeping you stuck. And as you talk about it, we tap and release that, right? All of my programs are based around that principle, right? That you find the stuckness and we tap and release it. But let me tell you about the individual programs themselves. The first one is called The Path. It used to be called Creating Your Dream Life. Now, what you do in The Path is you decide, using the instructions that are made up of lots of videos of me talking to you, you decide all the elements of your life. You decide what you want to look like and what you want to do in your spare time and what you want to eat and what you want to wear, all the different aspects of how life will be when you get to where you want to get to. See that like setting a sat nav, right? We have to decide where you're going before we can figure out what's in the way, right? Then what we do for all of the remainder of the course is we move all the stuff that's out of the way. We find where you have limiting beliefs. We find where you have imposter syndrome. We find where you have fears that you don't know about. In The Path, I teach you how to find the limiting beliefs, how to do what we call treasure hunting, how to find all of the next steps that have to happen in order for you to move forward. It's essentially a vision boarding program, as if I'm doing a group program, but it's just me and you. We create the vision and then we do all of that unblocking work to get you to that place. That's called The Path. If you work through The Path, you could do it in anywhere between 2 and 6 or 12 weeks, depending on how dedicated you are to doing the work and how much time you want to give to it. The next thing that's in there is a massive program called Goddess Wealth. Goddess Wealth is all about all of your money blocks. Lots of people do programs where they teach you what your money blocks are, but not how to move them. In that program, we discover what your money container is like. How much money can your body stand to hold before it starts to panic and either spend it or stop doing the work or get rid of it? It looks at your relationship with money. So there is a session in there where you see your relationship with money, you discover what it's like, that relationship that you have between you and money, and everything just falls into place and feels clear. Now, this is the program where there is the big treasure hunt. And by treasure hunt, what I mean is I let you know all of the possible beliefs that you could have, all of the possible blockages. And through tapping, what we do together is you find the ones that ding, ding, ding hit for you. After you've found that, then we go through a series of sessions that have all been pre-recorded where we weed out all of these things. I should say I love The Path. It's the exact process that I went to move from a place where I didn't necessarily want to be to a place where I genuinely did not believe I could be, and all of the steps that I took in order to get there. It's me holding your hand through the entire process, and people have created incredible things using that program. So that is the equivalent to a group program. It just happens to be you and me, and it's all pre-recorded and you can do it wherever you want. Goddess Wealth, I have to say, is something that is so absolutely dear to my heart because money stuff has been my biggest thing. And that is the reason why I know Goddess Wealth is so good, is because it was created by someone who had to do all of this stuff for herself. I know money blocks so well, right? And Goddess Wealth will take you through them all. As if that's not enough, there's also something called the tools. So the tools are really just a how-to. So you know, sometimes when you watch my videos and you hear me talking about all these things and you want to scream, how? How do you do that? How do you empty out? How do you find your shadows? How do you work through all this stuff? The answer is in the tools. So if you've ever heard me talking, or if you've ever worked with me, then you'll have done some free writing and tapping. It tells you how to do that. If you have ever heard me talking about rage tapping, it tells you how to do that. It tells you how to do tapping as you go. It tells you what situations to use what tools. And if you only had that, then theoretically you could solve so many issues that are top of your mind. The reason you need the Path and Goddess Wealth is because a lot of the time we don't know what our blockages are. Then you have the Introduction to Alchemical Magic. Now, clearly I'm telling you these back to front from big to small, right? So you'll probably start with this side and work your way back. But Introduction to Alchemical Magic basically tells you what on earth I am talking about, right? Introduction to Alchemical Magic is for you as if you have never heard of me, you have never worked with me, you want to know what on earth all of this is. Alchemy is a process of taking one substance, creating change in it, making it something else. Lead, putting it through a process, turning it into gold. That is exactly what you're doing with your mind and your body and all of the parts of you in order to create the version of yourself you want to be. You are alchemizing this old stuff to turn it into fabulous new stuff that you can genuinely enjoy in your life. So that's a little mini program that can let you know what all of this is all about. And all of this is £149. Defragment Your Mind is a hypnosis that you will listen to at night or while you're having a rest. And what it does is, if you are a 90s kid, you will know what defragmenting a disc is. When you had a computer and it was getting janky and it was getting slow and it was getting full, you would defragment the disc, which was like playing Tetris, moving everything out the way so that you had space for new stuff. That's exactly what it's going to do with your brain. It's going to help you and your mind to know we're going to declutter now, right? It's almost like a prep for everything else. We're going to declutter, get ready to get rid of the stuff that you won't want. And all of those thoughts and endless noise that's in your head and in your body and in your emotions can start to loosen up and move out. So that is something that you can listen to night after night to help. The last piece in the puzzle is the most beautiful meditation for expanding your self-worth container exponentially. It's called the Goddess Activation, and it's essentially what started my whole journey. I was well aware that it didn't matter how much work I did on money stuff or on my business or on marketing or learning how to do anything, I did not have the capacity to hold any of it because my self-worth was so depleted. You would never have known that. I didn't know it, but that was just true. What the Goddess Activation does is allow you to expand that self-worth container in the same ways you have to expand your money container to get used to holding more money, to get used to holding more abundance and more good things. And it just helps you to open that up. It's fabulous. So all of these programs are available together until the 5th of January at this price. They're not going away after the 5th of January. The price is. And the reason I'm doing this is I am well aware that there are many of you watching this who know I have a lot of work to do, right? I have been in exactly that position myself. And when people are charging hundreds of pounds for you to have one session with them, that's not going to do anything. When you are in a position where you have a lot to empty out of your mind, of your body, you have a lot that you have just been doing for the longest time and you know and you can feel it, you need to be able to do this work in a way that's affordable, right? So this is your chance. You have to put in the effort, you have to put in the dedication to follow it. That's all a given, right? You're the one who has to do the work. I've done this bit, you do that bit. But I don't want the reason you're not doing it to be that you can't afford £10,000 to have somebody to guide you through all this stuff, right? If you ever wanted to work with me, this is the way to do it, where there is so much for you to do. You can immerse yourself in it and come out the other side a completely different person. As I've said before, this is what I wish I had at 22. Hell, I wish I'd had it at 30 or 35, but it exists now, right? And I'm glad that I went through all of that, because now I know how to create this for you, right? But if you dedicate yourself to this, it will change things for you. And I am really excited to hear about all of the people who have a completely different life because of this. It's here until the 5th of January.